Okay, I think we are live. Let's actually make sure that, oh, there we go. The preview says we're here. Hi, who am I talking to?
Hey, this is Paul Tchaikovsky. I'm a developer advocate at VMware.
Awesome. Hey, Paul. Hi, my name is JJ Asgar, and I'm going to say this in the chat right now. Hi, everybody. My name is JJ Asgar. I'm a developer advocate for the IBM Cloud. If you've caught up on the last couple of weeks, we've been doing these streams. We've been playing a lot with this application called Hugin. I'm going to be honest. I am very tired. It's been a very long day. So we've decided to take a little bit easier path with this whole Hugin project and hopefully get something completed today, which is we are going to do some of the stuff that is traditionally pretty challenging, but CZ here is very, very well skilled in, so he's going to help me get through it very quickly.
Well, we hope so anyway.
Yes. We're going to try to get a ingress controller in front of Hugin for us, because if you don't remember, if you haven't seen, the URLs are atrocious, is the best word for it. We're going to use something called external DNS. We're going to talk a little bit about what DNS is and why everybody hates it. And then we're going to also do use something called Let's Encrypt to build up some certs in front of it, so then we can actually have SSL for free in front of the Kubernetes cluster. It seems like a reasonable goal for this stream. It's something that I know for a fact I've banged my head against the wall multiple hours on, and finally I convinced Paul to help me get through this, so I can feel like it's somewhat of an expert. Seem reasonable?
Sounds perfect.
Okay, cool. All right, so let's just talk about what Let's Encrypt is right now. So Paul, do you want to discuss why we should care about Let's Encrypt and why it even exists?
Yeah, so traditionally there's been that barrier of getting real root signed TLS SSL certificates. I still say SSL, even though it's not really SSL anymore. So if I say SSL, just assume I mean TLS and don't yell at me.
Oh yeah.
With that being said, so we ended up in this situation where we have all these self-signed certs floating all over the place. A couple of years ago, the internet got real serious about the idea that every website should be secure by default. And to do that, we needed to have an easy way. We need to have a cheap to free way of people having certificates. So Let's Encrypt was formed, and I believe there's a foundation behind it and corporate sponsors. Did it come out of Mozilla?
No,
Or,
I believe it came out EFF maybe. I actually know someone
yeah,
who
you're
works there,
right.
believe
It
it or not.
is. It is EFF. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it came out of EFF. I think maybe just Mozilla is one of the
Oh
earlier
no,
folks.
no, it's these guys now. Internet Security Research Group.
Right. Well, whoever it is, they're very kindly hosting the infrastructure required to actually provide certificates, right? And so that takes care of the free part of it,
Mm-hmm.
as in monetarily free. But it doesn't take care of the effort free from the end user perspective. And also, it's important to be able to verify the ownership of a certificate, right? Because you
Mm-hmm.
need to make sure that the certificate is signing a URL that belongs to a website that belongs to the person that actually owns it, right? Because you want to know
Yes.
that, chase.com is really going to Chase Bank.
Mm-hmm. So wait, hold on.
And
Before we
so
go
in
any
the
farther,
past, yeah.
real quick, I want to make sure that I understand this too. So when I have a cert that says that yes, Chase.com exists, and I go to that website with the nice little lock on it,
Mm-hmm.
I encapsulate any of my data in a secured payload, if you will, send that to Chase.com. Chase unlocks it, does the stuff it needs to, and then shoves any of that data back to me in the same encrypted form.
Effectively, yes.
Okay.
I'm sure it's much more complicated than that. And several security people are probably yelling at their screens if they were watching. But for the layman's, I think that's a fair enough description of what happens.
Okay.
It is not guaranteeing that your data is secure at Chase Bank or wherever you're
Mm-hmm.
connecting to. It's just verifying that the transmission between you and them is secure.
And
Now,
we also have
there's a
Let's Encrypt in this case as the third party to say that yes, that is Chase.com.
exactly.
Got
And
it.
so in the past, we've had these, I guess, roots of trust where they are responsible for verifying the server end of the certificate, right?
Like
Uh,
VeriSign? Is that one
yeah,
of them?
I
Yeah. Okay.
guess so. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And so basically, you have a private key and a public key, and so the website has the private key, and the clients can get the public key, and they can test each other and be,
Mm-hmm.
all good. Sorry, certificate. Sorry, the certificate and the key,
Mm-hmm.
not client side key. Um, I'm not an expert in this level of stuff. So anyway,
Mm-hmm.
so basically, Let's Encrypt needs to ensure the veracity of the people that are requiring certificates, and they built automated tooling around that called around a protocol called Acme, which I'm sure stands for something clever, but I'm not super excited about reading RFCs.
Well, it's
JJ
called
is though,
Automatic Certificate Management and Environment, if you did not know.
right?
Yes.
And so, generally speaking, with Let's Encrypt, when I use it, you get the choice of it verifying that the website is really you or that the DNS is hosted by really you. So, from a website perspective, they'll give you some information and tell you to host that on your website, and then they will test that that information is correct,
Mm,
right?
nice.
And that's kind of how that works. On the DNS side, you can give them access to your DNS provider, and they will create a DNS entry of type TXT.
Mm-hmm.
And then, sorry, you will create a DNS entry of type TXT, and they'll verify that that matches what they expect. Sorry, they don't need credentials. You need the credentials yourself. And
Got it.
so that's how you can verify yourself and the website belongs to you with some veracity to make this trusted. And again, I'm sure I'm going through it a little bit quickly and not fully describing it, but that's getting the basics.
Okay.
And so
Awesome.
now we have the protocols and systems in place. We flip to the Kubernetes side of things, where we have the Cert-Manager controller.
Hmm.
And so the Cert-Manager controller owns that Acme protocol conversation. And so you provide the Cert-Manager with a cluster issuer or an issuer, and that effectively tells Cert-Manager whether you want it to verify your Let's Encrypt via HTTPS or via DNS. If it's via HTTPS, it needs to be part of an ingress controller, because it needs to actually
Hmm.
create rules to say, if you're going to this path, send them this response so they know it's valid. If it's DNS, you provide credentials to Cert-Manager, which is inside of your own cluster, and most DNS providers have ACLs and stuff to make sure you're not giving it too strong of permissions. And so it would, in the DNS case, it would create the TXT record, which Let's Encrypt would be validating against to make sure it's really you.
Got it. Got it. Okay.
And then the other thing Cert-Manager does is you can say it creates a CRD, a custom resource definition, and you can
Hmm.
request a certificate and have it provide those certificates. And it can also be a self-signed certificate. I have a blog on having it create your own CA and managing self-signed certificates. So you never ever have to run random OpenSSL commands under Linux to try and create your
Ah,
CAs and certs.
that's your what is it? OMG.
Yeah,
Uh,
so OMG, oh my God, what the fuck SSL? Well,
yes.
I probably can't say that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Is a project I created years and years ago to simplify things. Originally meant for Docker, but also works in Kubernetes. But that's really just running a shell script that is generating those certs. And so on my blog, I wrote how to do the same thing using Cert-Manager if you have that installed,
Nice.
so that you don't have to do OMG WTF SSL.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, but in almost all cases, unless it's like cluster to cluster, like inside your cluster communication, I'm a strong believer in just use a real goddamn certificate. Now we have the infrastructure in place.
Hmm.
There's very few excuses to not use real certificates. Anytime a human is interacting with your thing, you should have a real certificate. They should never have to ignore the security warnings in Firefox or Chrome or Internet Explorer or whatever browser they're using.
Hmm. Hmm.
And so I've spent a lot of time using Cert-Manager in Kubernetes to ensure that I can do that. Both Cert-Manager will also watch ingresses and load balancers for certain annotations,
Mm.
and will automatically create certificates, or you can create certificates as a certificate resource via the CRDs. And so even things that don't support the CRDs, I've used like CI systems to kubectl create a certificate resource, wait for that to appear, and then grab the results out of the secret and then put them into the right place in the app. So you're getting roughly the same effect, just with a bunch more garbage glue around it, because you're dealing with some legacy app that doesn't want to play nicely with Cert-Manager. I feel like I'm getting a little bit off track, so let's
That's
swing
fine.
back to. So I think that's covering Cert-Manager. It's
Hmm.
covering its basic usages with Kubernetes. The other thing we have listed that I think is a really good thing to slip straight across onto is the external DNS controller.
Hmm.
Because to me, that works hand in hand with Certificate Manager, because it allows Kubernetes to also manage your DNS, which means when I stand up a service or an ingress, Kubernetes will just automatically create DNS for me, and will also automatically create real signed certificates through Let's Encrypt with me. So
Wonderful.
every single application I launch on any of my Kubernetes clusters get DNS and real certificates,
Mm-hmm.
which with zero work, apart from the upfront work getting certificate manager and external DNS running. From then on, everything just gets DNS and certificates, which
That
is
seems very reasonable. And
it's great because I don't know. We used to work IT, used to work a Jira queue that people would request a certificate for this or DNS for that,
mm-hmm.
and wait sometimes weeks at a time for someone to actually get around to doing it.
Yep.
So having Kubernetes just manage it for you is night and day, like different and amazing. Even from going from, I used to just use Google Cloud DNS and create DNS there, and even going from that and not having to click around or not having to remember the gcloud CLI syntax is again great. And also, when I want to stop running that service, it'll go and clean up the artifacts in my DNS as well. So the two of them combined are super useful if you have internet-facing things. They also integrate with most of the common DNS systems that people might be running in a data center. Like if you're a large enterprise, you might have Infoblox, which is supported by them, or you might be running one of the many bind or Power
There's
DNS
a lot.
implementations.
There's a lot of them.
Well.
Yeah, I mean, look at all these different DNS providers here. I mean, it even has OpenStack designate just in case. Just in case. Yeah. But
so
we are.
That's probably. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, what we're going to be playing with is a DN simple one because this is the DNS provider I use for my Asgar labs. If you don't know about DN simple, just real quick, they're a great DNS provider, and unfortunately, I just realized that is my address at the bottom. I should probably move that away. Yep, story of my life right there. But yeah, it's a great DNS provider, and it's awesome to see that external DNS works with them. So I have a dream that what we'll do is maybe hugen.ks.asgarlabs.io, and then we can have the
there's one I mean, that's fine for a demo.
Okay.
But just from a security thing, you've now told people what infrastructure
good point. That is a very good point. Yeah.
So you're providing information to the hackers that they may be able to take advantage of.
Yeah. So good point. So then, yes, no, we should not do that. We should do this.
Or you could do like demo or something. So like when I'm doing it, I usually have a demo sub, and I use that. And that also means I don't have to give permission to external DNS to edit my root DNS.
So something like that then?
Yeah, that's what I would usually do.
Okay.
Yep.
Sounds good. So it's a reasonable goal to get these things to come together, and hopefully we'll have with this video that people watch in the future, they'll see how we put it together, and at least it's a path to success, assuming we actually get it fixed and up.
That's right.
So I guess we should start with the external DNS. Is that the reasonable thing to do? Well, actually, no.
Yeah,
we should first create our demo in here, right?
Yeah. So it depends if you want to do it as like a delegated subdomain or not. I would say for simplicity, you don't need to.
Okay.
External DNS is smart enough to be like, okay, this is a subdomain of ashgarlabs.io, so I will create it as an appropriate thing. So for now, I would say we can just go ahead and create them in your root DNS, with the proviso that you probably wouldn't normally give external DNS like full admin access to. Oh, that's fun. Hang on.
Yes, that was a weird beep.
Yeah, our smoke detectors do like a test once a month just to make sure they're all working,
Oh, that's good.
and that was it.
Um, external DNS.yaml.
Right. So I'm
Okay.
gonna suggest
Sure.
that we use the Helm charts to deploy them.
Oh, okay. That
Right.
would make sense.
And so maybe we can have a directory to store all of our values files for them because we're going to have custom values. So
Okay.
call it, I don't know, infra, make a directory called infra or cluster or like whatever makes sense to you.
All
Right.
right.
And then in there, we should have a file called, well, not values.yaml because we're going to have multiple, right? So I would call it like external DNS.yaml. I would have another one that is Cert-Manager.yaml.
Okay. All right.
Right, and so and then also you'll want an ingress controller, right? I think you said.
Yes.
Yeah. So probably an ingress.yaml.
All right. Okay. So there are 3 YAML files that are blank.
Now, I believe you already have an ingress controller as part of your cluster, right? Because didn't
No.
we have how?
Wait. Yes, I have a I have a get service -o wide. There is this service.
Yeah. So that's the service. We also have an ingress. So do a get ingress. Yeah, so you
Yeah.
already have an ingress controller, and I think we can continue to use that. Uh-oh.
That's not good.
Is your app still running?
Get pods. Yeah.
Your cluster hasn't changed names or anything?
Not that I know of.
Interesting.
Let me go ahead and move this off screen real quick. We did hard code it in the my.values or
Right.
values.
Yeah, because I think we decided that that was a wildcard DNS, and so we just needed to put the Hugin in front of it.
Nope, it is not showing up. So here's the ingress subdomain.
Yeah. And is that the same?
Copy. Paste. Yep. Host not found.
Yeah. So that's a 404, right? Because that is the subdomain, and then we had Hugin dot in front of it. Yeah.
Copy. Killing me.
Spaces.
Killing me. I think it just told me to you can dot paste.
Making it worse.
It really is, isn't it? Nope.
There's something else in there that's causing it to search rather than. Why don't you paste that to like a text?
You can.
Now, have a look at our my values and see if that full URL matches.
All right. I'm going to do that one off screen because of keys.
Oh, yeah. Good point. What keys have you got in there?
Remember, I put some in here. Nope. Oh, I've got the SMTP keys and all.
Okay. You might want to just pull those out because we'll be editing that file a few times.
Okay.
And so for sanity, I would just make a backup copy of that file and pull them out.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. All right. So is that host the same?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. I guess
379 00 apps container 3.
Well, that is.
Yeah, that's the same.
Very interesting. So that tells me that your unless I'm missing something obvious, that tells me that your ingress control is not super reliable.
Well, this is just default, right? Like,
well, Kubernetes doesn't have a default, so it's default on your whoever your platform provider is.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. So I guess probably in your cluster, there's probably a couple of pods running that are acting as your ingress controller. If you do you took it away. All right.
Yep. Sorry. Give me 2 seconds.
No worries.
Okay. Ingress controller.
Do a kubectl get pods --all. --all --namespaces. Sorry. I bet you there's maybe run that again and do a grep for.
That's all of them.
Ingress. Wait, there's no ingress running? How?
Nope.
Huh. So maybe your ingress is running outside of the cluster, but if that was the case, then do a kubectl get service again. So you see how Hugon has a cluster IP? If that ingress is not running inside your cluster, it shouldn't be able to access that service. So I would say it's just part of like the managed fabric of your cluster. And so it probably is running on your worker nodes. It's just not running under Kubernetes. So I would say we should just go ahead. I was hoping we could just not worry about installing an Nginx ingress controller because they should be, swappable for each other. But given we're seeing some weirdness, let's go ahead and just install the Nginx ingress controller.
Well, I just got a word from a cohort who may just join us here in a second. His name's Mofi. He tells me that ingress runs off of the master. So he's going to join us here in a second and probably describe. This must be a specific thing with IBM Cloud that I personally don't know. So it'd be nice to have him kind of tell us the story of why it's going on.
Right.
Cool. That's doing it live, right? Learning something new.
You might be able to solve the mystery of why it's not working as we expect. But while we're waiting for him, why don't you go to hub.helm.sh and do a search for ingress. Yeah, and see what comes up. Ooh, right. So you'll see there's quite a few things. Maybe just do a Control F and see for Nginx. No.
This one?
So yeah, so I would say that's probably the one to go for. And so that's going to tell us how to install it. So we need to add the repo and then do the install. But let's have a look and see what values are required and just double check there's nothing we need to do. All right, controller, blah, blah, blah. We can scroll down pretty quick. Default TLS, wildcard TLS. Don't know where that goes. There should be where it offers to do it as a daemon set. Just do a search for DAE. Just search more.
Right there.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, so controller kind, deployment or daemon set. It doesn't say what the defaults are. Is this just got like a weird side scroll issue? Because it looks like it's cutting off half the page.
Hello, Mofi.
Hey, everyone.
Hi.
How are you, sir?
Good. So we found this out like a couple of weeks back when we were trying to get cloud annotations that Nick created and setting up the ingress for it. And basically, our ingress is kind of like a subset of Nginx ingress. So it uses Nginx as a base, but they have done their own IBM Cloud things on top of that. But you can, if you want to, create your own ingress controller that you can run. So like what Paul was looking for, what ingress pod is running, ours run in the master, and we don't have any access to like change anything on it. So it just runs hidden away from our reach, right? But if you, hold on, let me look up the resource, how you can.
Also, it's weird not seeing your mouth move, Mofi. Is that on purpose?
I know what's happening. So, okay, I was playing with this thing where you can set a video background, right? And my video background is a video of me. Hold on, let me fix that. Oh, that's me. There you go. There you go. So
That's better.
Yeah, I have a video background that is me. So I was playing with it. If I can fake being in a meeting while not being there.
Yeah, no, that was pretty good. Like apart from you talking, I could not tell that was not you.
Right. Yeah. So, well, honestly, I didn't even notice that I was not there for a second because I was looking at something else. Hey, technology. Hold on. So it is cloud. Oh, by the way, Paul, nice to meet you. We haven't actually.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah. That's kind of like the perks and curse of working in a giant company where like meeting everybody is gonna take my entire life.
Mm-hmm. Well, Paul works for VMware.
Oh, okay.
But
yeah. I'm in the frenemy camp.
Yep.
Well, that's even another giant company. So you probably meet new people all the time as well.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Someone told me once that in every airport, there's at least one IBMer. And I have met IBMers that I have never met before 3 times in my life so far. Like they just saw my t-shirt and they're like, you work for IBM? I'm like, yeah. Maybe now that's not true anymore with all the flights being canceled, but.
Well, I'll say just to play off of that, I've actually been on a plane before. Somebody sat down in the middle seat with me. They brought open their ThinkPad and immediately brought up Lotus Notes. And I'm like, oh, you're an IBMer. And he's like, how did you know? And I'm like, there's no one else that would use Lotus Notes on the ThinkPad. It was good.
So it sounds like for expedience, we should just go down the track of running our own Ingress controller.
Yes.
I actually don't like the idea of having your controller running on your masters because then you're reliant on your masters being functional for your like data plane to work. one of the beautiful things about Kubernetes is because of kube proxy and node ports and things, in theory, even if the masters go down, your workload should continue to work. But with the ingress controller inputs running on the masters, you lose that. And also it means that potentially your web traffic can interfere with your APIs and stuff being able to receive and process information. So I don't know, JJ, you think we'll just do Nginx Ingress and keep rolling forward?
Yeah, but it still seems kind of weird that the site won't even come up. Like we get a 404.
Yeah,
debugging...
I feel like we could sit there and try and debug it, or we could move on and just try and cover the stuff we were trying to cover.
Okay, seems reasonable.
Because it feels like little issues like this could take us 2 hours to figure it out, right?
Yeah, that's probably true. That's probably true. Okay, well, here, this is the documentation specifically for the IBM Cloud. I'll put this in the chat also so people can read it at their own leisure. Assuming I could find the chat. Thank you, Mofi, for sending us that.
Yeah, hold on. There's more documentation. So there is just so this is one frustrating thing about cloud native stuff, right? If you want to do everything as the documentation says, like the happy path, it's great. The moment you diverge a little bit from the happy path, you are just in the rabbit hole of docs and reading people's comments and chasing issues.
Yep. So let's just get let's get the Nginx Ingress controller up and running on our cluster using this helm chart. And then I guess what we'll do is we'll tell the master ingress to talk to our ingress. So
no, you can run multiple ingresses side by side without them having a problem.
Oh, cool.
You just set annotations to tell it which ingress you want when you're creating an ingress.
Yeah, and then I'm looking for the particular documentation. I don't remember exactly where it is. I'm going to find it. But what you can do, basically, create a new load balancer and attach that to your cluster. Now, that load balancer will be using the other ingress. And it's a bit of a patching work, but once it works pretty great.
Yeah. Okay. So, JJ, I think we can just go ahead and run that helm install command, and it should work. But we'll probably want to give it a different release name. Yep. And also, I like to do a cluster system namespace for things I run for the whole cluster to take advantage of. So I would also create a namespace to install both Nginx, but also our certificate manager, etc.
Cluster infra?
I usually do cluster, whateve makes sense to you.
Oops.
Do you use kubectx?
No.
No. Oh, you should. It's great.
Yeah. All right. So when you do your helm install, you can do don't go down that. I wouldn't even.
Don't even bother.
You'll lose an hour doing that.
Okay.
It'll probably need to install Nokogiri and your machine will catch fire. So yeah, do a -n and do cluster infra.
Cluster infra.
And then I would just call it Nginx -ingress. And hit enter.
Mofi, was that you?
Yes, that was me. So that is the user managed ingress documentation. I'm finding more stuff. Hold on.
Yeah.
I'm just going back a month and finding out what I did. Hold on.
It's all good. That's exactly what we're hoping to do. All right, here we go.
So now do a get pods of the cluster infra namespace.
One.
So we have one running.
Nginx Ingress. That's annoying.
You can fix that by doing name overrides, but that's again a rabbit hole we don't need to care about. Basically, because we named the release Nginx Ingress, we get that double
Yeah, that makes
Ingress
sense.
is the Helm chart, then Nginx Ingress is the release.
Mhm.
Do a get daemon set in that namespace.
So what is a daemon set exactly?
So a daemon set basically says run this on every worker node.
Oh, okay.
Why is it not? Do a get deployment.
So we probably did the deployment by default then, right? Because we saw it was either deployment.
Yeah, I thought it was daemon set by default, but just do a get deployments and we'll see what's there.
There you go.
Okay. All right. Do a get service, and I think we'll have a service of type of load balancer. So if you do a k-n and then do your gets after it, you're only having to change the last bits rather than having to change.
That makes more sense. Yep.
Yeah. So you've got a cluster IP and you have an ingress. And so if you hit that cluster IP, the external IP from just a web browser, you should get like a 404 default backend error. You do it. You can do it without the. I mean, you could. Yeah. So by default, it will enable SSL, but it will use a self-signed certificate. And then there was an option if you were scrolling through the Helm, there's an option to provide your own certificate if you have your own CA or you already have a certificate. And I think you can also use Let's Encrypt to also get that. But we're going to be providing our own certificate anyway, so I'm not so concerned about that. But this to me says the Nginx Ingress is now installed and working and listening on that IP address.
Wait, hold on. Does that mean we can go back to that?
No, we can't go to that URL and have it work yet.
Okay.
You could go to, if you make a copy of that external IP and you go to your My Values.
We don't have a My Values, I believe, yet.
Well, your My Values from Hugan.
Oh, yeah, yep, right here.
Yeah. And so if you change that host to be, is it zip.io will give you the IP address as DNS? xip.io, and then put Hugan in front of that. Yeah, I believe that'll give us what you need. So if you also need the annotation. Yeah, see how it's got the annotations commented out? Uncomment those and get rid of the open close curlies and save that.
Do that?
Yep.
There's no dash here?
No, this is a dictionary, not an array.
Yeah, dictionary.
Okay.
Yeah.
YAML is fun.
And then do a Helm apply now against your, Helm upgrade.
A Helm list upgrade Hugan
dash values. No, you need to load in your values. And then dot.
Okay.
Yep. And see now it has the new URL there. So do a kubectl get. You're always so fast on the trigger. Get ingress. And see we have the address there, and then do a like a host on the, so we can just double check that the URL is resolving as we expect it to. Yeah, so in theory that should now work from your browser. It may take a minute for Nginx to find it. Interesting.
There
we go. Yeah, basically Nginx is polling and then updating its own config. So it can take 10 seconds to figure itself out. So that's good. That means we're now using the Nginx. We could, in theory, use Nginx's like built-in SSL, but we're not going to do that because we're going to use external DNS and certificate manager. So external DNS is the first thing we want to attack. And so I would bring up the external DNS helm chart from hub.helm, and we'll see where we set what we need there.
That is under here.
Yeah.
Vietnami?
Yep. So again, if we scroll down, now we need to figure out how we provide your credentials to, what's your DNS again?
DN simple. DN simple. It's down. There's Azure, Cloudflare, Core, Designate. It's not here.
Interesting. Do a word search for it. Maybe it's not fully alphabetical.
Nope.
Whoa.
Are we going to update the chart to support DN simple now?
Yeah. Is there a custom option?
Has a designate.
Interesting.
No.
Now,
there could be something like other or custom that you can use.
Yeah, but external DNS said it supports DNS simple, right?
Yep, here's the actual way of doing it.
All right. Yeah, so we'll need to run that second. You've got RBAC installed. Well, it must be RBAC in your cluster. So take that manifest.
This one, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And put it inside
just create a YAML file for that. I guess your external DNS one will just have this as a standard kube manifest.
I'm going to put my API key in there too, huh?
Yeah, so you'll want to obviously take.
Maybe you can also create like a secret value from.
Yeah, we can, but
for now it's okay.
Just trying to get this to work. So you want to put your domain filter there, so that will be Ashgar Labs, and then I think
that's it, right? Everything else is pretty much default.
If you just go back down to where we were actually looking at it, because you also want to make sure that this is going to support Ingress as well as service. So if you go to the doc for external DNS and just do a search for Ingress.
This one? No. Do
a search for Ingress.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah, the actual external DNS. Yeah. Yeah. Just do a word search for Ingress. Hit enter. Keep going.
This one?
Sure.
Oh, G-Cloud.
That's fine. Default backend, that's fine. Keep going. Deployment. Yeah, that's fine. We're looking for the manifest for external DNS itself. Yeah, this is the one. Strategy. Keep going. Looking for the command and args. There you go. See, under args, it's got source ingress. So you want to add that. And I'm pretty sure it supports having both source and what are those? Are those real dashes? They look too long.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, with arg source SQL service and source SQL ingress would work?
Yeah, most Go apps let you supply lists. And I'm assuming that it will support a list. You could if you want to comment out service. Or, yeah.
So we declare that service up top, right? Do we declare service up top?
No, we don't need to declare a service.
Oh, I thought we did.
No, external DNS isn't itself running a service. It's looking at your services or looking at your ingress for annotations.
Got it.
And so basically the source is telling it what type of resources to look at. And so the only other thing you need to do is stick your key in there. And so maybe flip this into another window.
Yep. Working on that now. Okay. Oops. All right. So then I can do K apply -F external DNS. Yeah. You're on mute.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Hold on. I need to do a namespace, right?
Yeah, you'll need to sort it in the namespace for sure.
Also, when we're done with this stream, install kubecontext and QNS. That's gonna switching namespace and switching context. That is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine my life without kubeNS and kubectl.
Oh yeah.
Make sure kill that deployment. And so now do your get deployments in the namespace.
There we go.
Mm-hmm. So now external DNS is running.
That's just me sending you the link for kubecontext.
Thank you.
So you could do a kubectl logs on external DNS. Well, actually, you could do a Stern. You've still got Stern installed, yeah?
Yep.
And then external DNS.
Namespace. Is there -N for this?
Yeah.
Just thinking about it.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of stuff in here.
Yeah, so domain filter looks good. I'm just looking. Hopefully it's not actually going to put your password up in that text up.
Provider DN simple.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing my key. And also, I can delete the key really easily, so it's not a big deal. And it turns out I didn't realize that DN simple had 2FA, so I need to enable that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And so now we can go back to your ingress. So exit out of this. And your Hugen Helm chart, you should be able to add the Hugen.jjashgar.lab or Hugen.demo. And actually, you could have them both if you wanted to have them both, so that if this one takes a while to load, that's fine.
That's fine.
All right.
I'm okay with that.
And then we don't want to care about TLS right now. So let's save that off.
Okay.
Now, if I remember correctly, you don't need any annotations for ingresses when you have external DNS installed. It just assumes you want to register any of your ingresses. So you should see, because this matches your filter now, you should actually see in the external DNS logs it trying to communicate with DNS simple. So if you run that stern command again,
Nope.
Its sources are ingress, namespace, it's blank. Simple. I'll just think cache. Oh, it's getting a fatal error. Is it just restarting itself? Do I get pods?
Crash loop back off.
Yeah, it's in a crash loop. So it's, for some reason, it's not working.
Oh, namespace. God damn it.
You're going to need to change that OAuth. Could you just paste it on your screen?
Oh, that's fine. I'll delete it as soon as we're done with this.
Yeah, but that's not working anyway. So,
It's just dead, right?
Yeah. Well, so it'll error out, but you'll actually want to have a look at that fatal error and just paste it into Google and see what it comes up with. So just watch that log again.
I think Stern showed it. Logs never showed it.
Yeah, because it's restarted, so it's waiting until it errors out.
Oh.
And you're not tailing, so it's not actually going to show the next line of log when it errors. So just run Stern again. That's why I like Stern. You don't have to worry about.
Nothing.
Yeah. No, because it's restarting right now. Maybe run your K logs again while it's restarting, and it might still have the old log there. Yeah. So paste that fail to sync cache. And see. But also, why isn't it? It should be showing something for DNS simple in the.
Okay. RBAC problems?
After I did it, what? Using the Helm chart.
But RBAC, true.
Yeah, but we're not using Helm, so go back to the YAML. Because you copied the XML DNS.
Where'd it go?
I don't know.
There we go.
The cluster role.
So you have a role binding. Where is the role? Oh, here you go. Okay.
I see it under the subjects. Go down, 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 down. Namespace default.
That's lame.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I think the rest should be.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was fun.
So reapply that. Yeah. And then I I would go ahead and delete the pod so that it doesn't wait for it to time out and restart. And then do a get pods.
Error.
I guess now describe the pod.
Yeah.
Where's the error?
Not seeing anything.
It just says back off restarting failed container.
Yeah, so do a stern of it and watch what happens.
Oh, there we go. Hey, okay. Oh,
Whoa, invalid memory or nope. Well,
that's not good.
yeah.
Did we find a bug?
I don't know, but I'm still looking for DNS simple in that config.
Right there.
Oh yeah, new DNS simple provider. But like
So
in
it's
the
actually
config
trying-
itself, in the config above, like it should have pulled in the key from the environment variable
Mm.
in the same way it pulled in the source's ingress. You just do a
Hey,
word
Mofi, you want to
search
look at that? Mofi, you want to look at that provider real quick?
Yeah. So it's line 12. Okay.
JJ, just do a word search in your terminal or copy and paste that config section for DNS simple.
Right there.
Yeah, so I would say it's not pulling in that environment variable, or it's not, and therefore it's not seeing a OAuth key. Go back to the external DNS documentation. Go back to.
Oh, wait, this was this one.
Yeah, DNS simple. Is this the DNS simple? Yeah. I wonder if they've changed the.
Well, see, this one tells you to do the Nginx service.
No, that's telling you how to use it once you have it running.
Oh.
Right. So you created an API token, right?
I have.
And we pasted that in as DNS simple OAuth.
This one. We pasted this one in.
Yeah.
We changed.
Yeah, you just changed the namespace, which was the right thing to do. Domain filter.
And then we put.
And we set domain filter, and then we set DNS simple OAuth, and set the.
We changed the source to something else instead of service.
And to Ingress.
Ingress. Yep.
Real quick, what line was the error from? Could you get back to the terminal one more time? 124. Okay. It failed that new DNS simple provider. Okay. And it also failed that main.go 181. I don't know if it's an older version, like it's an older release, because line 124 doesn't look like that would fail on this.
It could be. What version are we calling in the image and the deployment?
On the deployment, go down.
Deployment. You're already there. Image.
Okay, external DNS latest.
Yeah.
Okay. Latest is the worst version. Why would you? Okay. Can you send me the image name? I can probably look it up. Tpod external DNS.
Yeah, give me a second. Hang on.
Thank you.
JJ, why don't you do a word search for that DNS simple underscore OAuth and see what documentation is there for DNS other than what's there.
On here?
Yeah. No, in the across the whole repo. Issues, that might be a good one to look at. Right. So this is where they actually added the. Oh, that's a lot of files changed.
Don't get caught, that is, isn't it?
Yeah. All right, go back. I thought we might just be seeing him.
Well, it might be the very bottom though. Nope.
Go to code. It only shows a few times in code, so it won't be too hard to.
No, these are all forks off of main GitHub. Right?
Right. Keep scrolling. Oh, it'd be nice if it didn't just. Simple test, simple test. Why is it searching? Is there a way to tell it not to search forks? That's ridiculous.
Nope, it just grabbed everything, it seems.
No, I think we can do advanced search. Right, you just had it. Yeah, you could try an advanced search. Just you want the owner to be the owner, like this owner, so that.
Thriller film directed by George Stillman Jr., Wayne Johnson, and Billy Bob Thornton star as a criminal seeking vengeance and a corrupt cop who perceives.
I think the owner is Kubernetes Ingress.
Yep.
The repository is external DNS.
All right, code. Okay, so it's not giving that no DNS simple OAuth token provided. So that's not the error. Okay, go back to the error itself.
So line main 181 basically just where I just was looking at it. Come on, go back. So main 181 is just like a case. It looks up all the different providers you can find. And line 181 talks about DNS simple. And that one call on 181. So yeah, I think we're in the right version. So if it's DNS simple, it tries to get the new DNS simple provider. And that is the function on line 124. And there it is basically looking for DNS simple auth. If the auth is empty, so what is the error message you're saying there?
Invalid memory address. Nil.
Oh, nil pointer.
Nil pointer.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like looks like a panic versus a gracefully.
Yeah, it's not an error message because the code base itself doesn't panic. It is it is panicking on something that is not being checked for error message.
Now, those dashes. I know I said this before. Those dashes look long. You haven't got some weird like coding going on.
No, that's what I type them out at.
Yeah, okay. I just thought maybe it was like a weird paste as rich text kind of thing. So why don't you uncomment service and comment out ingress, and we'll try and go back to the exact settings they had. So rerun that, apply. Do a get pods.
It's running now.
Now it's running. So
Not seeing anything in the logs though. Oh, there we go. Nope,
yeah, it's
same
just
problem.
taking a second. Oh yeah, it was just taking its time. All right.
It's failed on the same thing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, failed on the same thing.
Okay, so you guys try to debug here. What I'm gonna try doing here, I'm gonna rebuild the Docker image, but add some comments on that function so that it actually prints out if it's actually finding stuff.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
JJ, why don't you actually go to that, because we're in the repo anyway, why don't you go to that DNS provider, dnssimple.go, and see, just so that folks at home can see it. Yeah, and it was line 124. Was it line 124?
Oh, it was.
Account ID equals.
Yep, 124.
Okay.
So 124 is
Who am
it? Yeah.
So I would guess it's not getting a valid response from that who am I response.
Yeah, so basically you try to reach into who am I response.data.account.id, and one of them is nil, and you try to say nil.account ID would give you panic.
Right. Yeah. Do you want to search DNS simple? Search the repo issues for DNS simple and see if anyone else is. Yeah, that's definitely not it. Huh. Look at closed. Yeah. So there's 7 closed issues. There we go. Look at that panic right there. That looks familiar, right?
Mm.
Moving below if I can see account ID not found. So scroll down.
Yep, there it is.
Account token or user token?
Oh, so it's supposed to be.
So you've got the wrong type of token.
I didn't know there was multiple types.
Now you do. Aren't computers fun?
Yeah.
The best fun there is.
So I assume off the screen you're just grabbing trying to find a new token.
I'm trying to figure out which token to get. Yeah. So it's not a user token, it's an account token?
The guy says, are you passing an account token or user token? I've validated account tokens and not seeing this issue. So you need an account token, it sounds like.
I don't know how to do that. I'm looking.
Well,
hang on.
It has a link to their documentation in this issue.
Oh, here we go. Okay, let's try that.
Now,
I will
make sure
delete
something
this.
you can easily
Yep, there's a big button that says delete.
afterwards. All right,
Yep.
good.
There we go. It worked.
Well, I think.
Okay,
Now you need to go and change it back to Ingress versus service.
So the issue was you're using the wrong token.
Yeah, so we should probably put a little note in on this saying where to find this. It's under automation. It's not even under user settings, right? Like this does not feel like something that we can. I will not remember how to do this.
Yeah. Well,
Okay, hold on.
why
But
don't
first,
you-
let's get it
why don't
working
you do
first,
a-
right?
Yeah. So go back to your YAML file and uncomment ingress. And I'm certain you can have both uncommented. So let's try it out. Let's YOLO this. Give it a second, do a get pod, we'll just done it, yeah.
Is that you, Mofi?
Nope.
There we go. Created it.
Boom.
Excellent.
So basically you can see it's created an A record and a text record. And so the text record is just so it can keep track of its ownership of that A record.
There it is.
Yeah.
Right there.
So that with that done, we can now make Cert-Manager work.
Yeah.
So if you want to go to, did you want to look at putting in a quick issue for the account token?
I feel like yeah, or we could just put a comments in or in the docs saying this is where.
Yeah. So why don't you look at their doc and make sure they haven't got that somewhere and we just didn't roll straight past it.
Pretty sure we didn't. Docs.
Hang on, go back up.
So scroll up a little bit.
You're so fast at scrolling. DNS may be acquired by following these instructions.
Nope, there it is.
Yeah, so
That's
it does tell us what to do. We just thought we knew what we're doing and ignored the docs. It's because you scroll too fast, JJ.
Yeah, I know, but it's weird to call it an access to. Oh, whatever. All right, cool.
Naming is hard, JJ. I don't even know why you're complaining about it.
So
that's
true.
That's the hardest thing in computers, naming.
Right.
It's weird to have API for user settings for API tokens where you assume to build an API key, and then there's an automation thing to do it. Whatever. Anyway, okay.
Moving on.
Yes.
Moving on. All right. So go to hub.helm and look for Cert-Manager. Cert with a dash, Cert-Manager. Still not spelled it right.
Naming things is hard.
This one is a spelling problem, JJ.
All right, so here's our instructions for installing it. Now, if you've already gone past the first step of the instructions.
I was going to look at the options, right? Don't we want to look at the options to make sure, do we need to do anything or no?
Well, I mean, I was looking to make sure, because it talks about different versions of Kubernetes, so you make sure you're running a version that's going to support.
Yep.
Yeah, you're 115?
We're over 115, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So you've got to hit up those that apply. That'll install the CRDs. So for operators that use their own CRDs, there's a chicken and egg problem for obvious reasons.
It's K versions, not get. Well, yeah, there we go.
So your server's 116. Your client's a bit old, but that's fine. So go ahead and do that apply line that it gave you. Yeah. And so that's going to install the CRDs, and that'll make sure that the Helm chart can install fine. So go back to Helm Hub.
I have not been looking at the chat. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, I probably do that.
Totally just realized that. Got lost in doing the actual stuff's going on. Okay. All right. So we did the CRDs, as you were saying. Then add the repo. Right?
Yeah. Hang on. I think, let me just, I have to go on mute for a second.
Mhm. This wants to put it in its own namespace, interestingly enough.
All right, I have to get off in about
So
10
Helm
minutes,
3 doesn't
so
take the dash dash name anymore. You can get rid of the dash dash name.
I've got to jump off in about 10 minutes. So we hopefully we can get this going in 10 minutes. I'll be back, but I've got a quick call I've got to take.
No worries.
So that's that done and installed, but it's not quite ready. We need an issuer or a cluster issuer. So if you switch to the documentation for external Cert-Manager, or grab that link there, yeah, and then go down to, I think you can just go to tutorials. I don't think you need to worry too much about the docs themselves. And then go to DNS validation. Oh, there we go. Securing one above. You're so fast.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we've done a lot of this. So scroll down.
Install Tiller.
Yeah, their docs are old. That's fine. Deploy Nginx, we did that. So what we're looking for is where it talks about doing a cluster issuer.
Yeah, sure.
Going. Yeah, so here it's doing an issuer. I usually do a cluster issuer so it can go in any namespace. So an issuer is namespace specific. A cluster issuer is across the whole cluster. In the same vein of like your roles are role binding or cluster role binding. So you can take what they have here though. Oh, actually, that's HTTP server solver. We want DNS solver. I'm gonna say we can probably go back to. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the Ingress solver. You can't do wildcard DNS with it, and also I don't like it messing with the Ingress underneath me. So maybe hit the DNS validation tutorial on the left. Scroll down. Yeah. So scroll back up. So this is basically an issuer. We can do the same thing, but call it a cluster issuer. And then we can set up. So copy and paste that top section all the way down to the key.json. Yeah. And create a cluster issuer.yaml. Oh, actually, we should confirm that Cert-Manager even supports DNS simple before we go
How do we
to
do
too
that?
much effort. We got a search button. Hit that search button.
This one?
Yeah. All right. So it says they have DNS simple support.
From version 0.3, now you're version 0.15, so there's a good chance it will be still supported.
So have a look at the stuff we just pasted in. So it looks like see, we're under DNS 01.
Mhm.
So that looks like all Google Cloud specific, like project and service account secret ref. So we need to find their docs that tell you how to do it for DNS simple. I mean, I would go back to the search. If it exists, it should be in the search. You spelled it wrong.
It's just here.
That's the only place that has DNS simple. I mean, I guess you could look at that pull request, but I feel like, oh, that's in like the release notes, not the actual documentation. Wow. All right. In that case, for the sake of simplicity, let's just use the Ingress issuer for now. So go back to that tutorial. Just hit tutorial and go that way. No. Securing Nginx Ingress. Yeah, and do a word search for cluster issuer. I mean, just issuer. Or that one, yeah. So copy and paste this. Yeah. Oh, of course, it's indented it. No, it's a spec is root level. Yeah. That's right. No, oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, you got it. All right. So what you want to do is actually not use Let's Encrypt staging. You can use staging for now. You'll just get a staging science certificate. That's actually the proper way to do it. But do change it to a cluster issuer kind.
That's line 2 kind.
And then put in your real email address or a real email address. It'll send emails to let you know when certificates are expiring. And otherwise, that should be okay.
Really? That's it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. So save that off and then apply it in the cluster system namespace. Dash F.
Yeah, I forgot something. I was like, that doesn't look right.
All right. And then finally, I think there's some extra annotations we need to set on your ingress. So go back to the doc and have a look where it's deploy a TLS ingress resource. So the next step down.
These ones.
And so you just need that issuer there. Yep. You already have the ingress class. You just need to add that second line, or just add both. Cool. And so that'll be in your my values file.
Okay.
Yep. And go ahead and do a Helm upgrade. And then in the cluster infra namespace, there should be a pod that's running the Cert-Manager. So if you wanted to do a logs of that first Cert-Manager pod, Stern or whatever. Actually, you could do a Stern of Cert-Manager and you get them all.
Woo.
So you should see it's creating a secret.
It's doing stuff.
Yeah. So
it's done.
Looks like it's healthy. So exit out. Whoa. And then have a look at your namespace your app is running in, which I think is default, right? So just do a k get secret. Oh, I know what we're missing. Go back to your my values. I think we need to set TLS in Ingress. I think we missed that. Yeah. So kill the square brackets and uncomment the lines underneath it. Yeah, and set the hosts to match that Hugin demo Ashgar Labs. Labs.io. And then set the secret name to be Hugin.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Give me a second. My phone's not happy. Oh, what the? Go away.
Connect to
Can you hear me?
headphone. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Sorry. Well, what's next? I'm sorry.
The secret name, just change that to be Hugin-TLS. All right.
Okay.
Save this and do a Helm upgrade again. Yep. And then if you run Stern, you should actually see it doing the certificate. Oh, there you go. Finish processing work item key default Hugin TLS. It might already be done. Well, before you try it, let's make sure it's working. It's like Kubernetes thinks it's done its thing. So go back to
There we go.
your command prompt, exit out and do a get secrets. And there should be a Hugin TLS. So if you do a get secrets Hugin-o YAML, you should see it. It should have TLS.
Oh no, that's gonna print way too much stuff. That's all the secrets.
Yeah. Oh, did you do all the secrets?
Yeah.
What a clown. Hugin-TLS.
That looks good.
It looks like it's still working because it's got a key, not a cert. It should have a certificate as well. So it may take another minute.
Yeah, the Cert-Manager is actually really clever. It basically creates like a service and opens it up so that it makes it look like you have a, how you can certify yourself by adding endpoint. It
So
runs.
have a look at do a get ingress.
I think it uses node port to do this.
And then do a -o YAML. No, it actually edits the ingress.
It does?
Yep.
Oh, namespace, right?
No, you're in the right spot. So it should have added a second rule, and that second rule points to your itself, and
No.
then it uses that to check. Wait, so it may have already done it, and it usually cleans up after itself. But you're moving. You move so fast, I don't even have a chance to look. I actually have to jump off. Have a look at your secret again. See if it's put the certificate in there. It still hasn't. So it could still be doing it, or you might need to, let me think, things it might be. So you might need to look at your logs for Cert-Manager and see what it's doing. It might need elevated permissions to modify your ingress. So you might need to have a look at that. Or you might want to just go back and find the docs for using DNS-based instead of ingress-based. But I have to jump off for about 15 minutes.
Okay.
So hopefully you've figured it out by then. If not, I'll catch up with you.
Sounds good. Thank you, sir.
All right, see ya.
All right, JJ, hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Let me find what we were doing. I think we're doing similar things, but it didn't create an ingress. What it did basically opened up a node port to prove its identity. And I mean, either way, it just basically opens up a service. So can you do a kubectl get service? Am I looking at it? Also, you got a Mac. Congrats. Welcome to the dark side or the light side, whichever side is I am on.
Cluster. Yeah, I got one for my birthday. And cluster. There's the services, Cert-Manager, webhook, and the ingress controller.
Okay. Okay, good. So did you make a certificate request? Because that's what you would do.
I don't think so. I haven't actually signed up for anything.
You wouldn't sign up. You don't have to. Let's Encrypt is free. That's why. Do this. Let's go back to the tutorials. Because I remember we created 2 different YAMLs, not just one. So you have issuer, and then you would have. Okay, so we're doing a HTTP validation, right?
Yeah. No, DNS validation.
Oh, we're doing a DNS validation? No, we ended up not. We couldn't do it. Right, because we didn't know how to set up the backend for the right thing. Let's look at your YAML for the issuer real quick. Let's see what kind of validation it's using. That's the ingress. Okay, it's doing the HTTP. It's doing HTTP validation in the bottom. You can see, right? Okay. Let's look at the documentation for HTTP validation. There's a couple of steps. So HTTP validation tutorial. Here we go. Okay. So you have the issuer. So go down. So here you are basically creating a certificate. Then go down.
Oh yeah, we didn't do this.
Then you have to scroll down. I just wanted to see last part. Yeah, so the certificate would basically be the one that gets certificate.
So we need to create this thing.
Uh-huh. And that's where you would say what DNS you're wanting the certificate for.
Like this?
Yeah, but here you'd use the no, so the DNS name would be the one. Well, you can give it any name. Namespace would be your namespace, and the DNS names would be.
Yep, I'm with you. Give me a second. Okay.
Yeah. Hold on. I think the secret name would be the same as the one you already have. Give me one sec.
Sure.
So when you ask for a certificate, it automatically creates something called the certificate request. So we don't have to worry about that. Okay, get certificate. And okay. So the secret name would be the secret, like that you are putting this data into. So
Hugin TLS.
yeah. So because that's where the CA and the other two things that was missing will come in.
Okay.
Yeah, let's try that and see what catches fire. And then we can. Okay, now look up certificate request. So you can basically look up kget. So do a kget CRDs. What are the? Let's see what are the CRDs that are installed. CRDs. Yeah. So we have the certificate request certificate. So we can try looking at kget certificates if we got any. It will also do the namespace.
This thing?
Mm-hmm. Okay, it's not ready. We just made the request. If you do kget service, whatever pod that made in, let's do a kget service dash all namespaces. Get rid of the namespace tag. One of them is that's okay. Let's wait for the certificate request to be ready. Still false. In the meantime, let's read the docs and see what is supposed to happen when I do all that jazz. Okay. Okay, so do a kget certificate if you have any in that namespace. Okay, it's not ready yet. Let's do a describe on the certificate request and see what happens. Cert-Manager webhook not found. Okay. It was looking for the webhook.
It's right here.
Right. Is it because of the namespace? No.
I'm in already over my head here.
That is. Hold on, give me just 1 second. We should have totally documented what we did last time, and Nick and I said we are going to do it. Then we got so happy that it worked, we just forgot. So. So, okay. Okay, let me find the actual files that we created. GitHub.
There it is. It's right there. Cluster info. Cluster info. It looks right.
So, okay, so this is the 2 YAML files we had. I'm going to send it to you on Slack for setting up cloud annotations ingress. You can open that up. There is no secret in that. So basically, we didn't create a cluster issuer. We just created a regular issuer, and we created a certificate. And that is this is the secret that we need for. That is the secret we need for generating the actual. Like on the TLS, we ended up using this secret, and if you go back 1 level, the issuer is the one that we have up top, which looks. And the server is just different because the server is basically, we are using a staging server now. Get rid of the staging, it becomes an actual prod server. Only thing I see different here, because yours is a cluster issuer, this secret gets created on the default namespace. In our case, our secret got created, both secret got created on the namespace that we're building this on. So other than that, is your certificate also running on the infra namespace, because your cluster issuer is cluster wide, right?
Yes, I believe it is. Let's double check though. There's a certificate manager, Cert-Manager, and then okay. There's the services.
Maybe, okay, let's do this. Let's delete what you have and deploy both of them at the same time. Maybe the service that we're using to provide it was deployed way too late and it can find it now. I don't know.
This is the cluster issuer.
Yeah, cluster issuer has both of them in it now. And maybe we convert it to just issuer because I know for a fact that one works. So let's start from
Okay.
what works, then we can extend it.
Okay. So K delete deployment. So,
Instead of deployment, just delete that YAML file. That will take away everything. Operator will take care of everything, deleting everything. Yeah, now do a kget all dash. If you do kget all, you'll see everything is gone. It's not gone. Anything terminating in terms of the pods? Oh yeah, those are gone. Most things are gone here. Oh, all dash n, you have to give the namespace. We're looking at default again. Cluster infra. Okay. All right, all of these things seem to be still just staying there. Also need to delete the services. Well, yeah, maybe delete the services. Yeah, Cert-Manager and Cert-Manager webhook. Yeah. Excellent. Okay, let's change the Cert-Manager to cluster issuer to just issuer, just to make sure nothing is up with the situation with that.
so let's turn this into an issuer. Okay.
Yeah. And before you apply that, can you get a kget secret on this namespace? Okay. So maybe we'll get rid of the Huggin TLS and the lesson group staging from here. Okay, fresh start. Let's go.
What about all these other cert managers?
Oh yeah, boy. Okay, Kubernetes love their secret, although it's not really a secret. But I'm gonna have to go back and watch this video later because yeah, no, there is a couple of things that was interesting and is worth rechecking.
Yep. Well, that's the reason why I'm recording it and going to put it on YouTube, because I
Yeah.
know I'm going to have to look at it later again when I have to do this and be like, oh, it's because we did this.
And we should probably just like spend another afternoon just documenting this properly rather than just like, oh yeah, do that. Oh no, do that. No, delete that, do that. That's
True.
yeah, that's my Achilles heel. Just like jumping document without. Once I get it done, I feel like, you know what, it was so easy. I don't know why I panicked in the first place. Then 3 months later, same. I just like reinvent the wheel over and over again.
So cluster infra -f. It's called cluster issuer, but it's issuer.
It's fine.
Right?
Yeah. Ooh, okay, here you go. What is that? Wait, was the webhook from the CRD? No. What the hell just happened? What did we break this time?
Damn. What did we delete? Oh, we probably jacked with the helm install of all this stuff.
Okay, that's cool. Let's just quickly do a helm uninstall class Cert-Manager and we can install it back. Helm delete. Sorry, helm delete.
Yeah, I'm just making sure. Hang on. Name or NS name cluster infra list.
Yeah.
Delete cert manager.
Okay. So I think one thing. So when we had done it, we actually didn't use the helm install for this, and we just install the CRDs. Give me 1 second. Let's just quickly see what it would be. So okay, we did that. So we just installed the CRDs, and no, we had to have. Okay, hold on. Helm list. Yeah, we didn't do it using Helm. That's why. Okay. Maybe if you do it using Helm, you don't have to do both of them. Because right now you have both of the CRDs installed. So hold off the Helm just for a second.
Okay.
So we have the CRDs installed. And okay. We don't have to do that. Okay. Oh, he's back. Excellent. Okay.
Hi.
Hello.
How are we?
I think we went backwards in this one somehow.
Yeah, we made.
Whoa,
yeah, we
deleting things.
Yes.
Yeah, we made things worse.
Oh boy. What did you do? All right, give me a quick catch up.
So we discovered that we needed also a cert to ask for the cert. That's where you actually put the DNS names to get the cert.
No, you don't.
It's actually in the documentation.
Yeah.
According to the documentation, you do.
All right. So there is, if we go right back to when we first started, and I was talking about how Cert-Manager works, I said there's two ways of doing it. One is you can request a certificate using the CRD, or you can use annotations and have it watch your services.
Okay.
Right. So actually doing that certificate is valid, but it doesn't have any way of validating that that's a real website or anything, right? So you might be able to get away with that for a staging certificate, but they're never going to give you a real certificate if you can't prove ownership. And
well, that's where our certificate request comes in, because I got confused because that's how we had done it about a month ago. Basically, on the server URL, when you make a request, what it does basically, it creates a new service, opens up a node port, and proves ownership that way and kills that service later. So when you use the request certificate that way and use the server ID, server URL as Acme v02 instead of staging,
Mm-hmm.
and that's. But like the weird issue is almost a month ago when we did the install, it actually didn't even guide us towards the Helm route. So that's
Well, we're going the Helm route because
right now Helm is in the official doc
of,
now, right? A month ago, I didn't even see Helm being there. So did they update it in like the last month? They could have.
I don't know. I mean, I've been using this stack for probably 12 months now, so I don't think
it's fun.
new.
It's weird. I don't know.
I'm so far out of my depth here that I have no idea what's going on.
Okay. All right, so we can. I mean, you can absolutely create a certificate doing what you did, but you still need an issuer or a cluster issuer. Either way. Did I see you'd uninstalled the chart?
Well,
Yeah.
we were cleaning it up to get it back to because we started installing some other stuff in there, and it looks like things got angry at one another. So we were trying to go back to 0, but
Okay.
it wasn't where we were expecting it to be.
All right. So you've got no Cert-Manager right now, or you just reinstalled it again?
Yeah, we don't have
We're
Cert-Manager. We got rid of it.
Yeah, we're.
All right.
Yep.
Did you delete your certificate and your cluster issuer and your issuers and anything else you built?
I believe so, but we'll double check. Hang on. Okay, get all.
It won't see it in get all. Get all doesn't really get all. It gets all from a very short list of things.
There we go. Okay.
Okay, so just do a get certificate and see if there's anything there. And a get cluster issuer. All right. All right, go ahead and do your Helm install.
Okay.
Yep. All right, and then go back to the cluster issuer YAML.
We converted that back to an issuer, but like we can make it back to a cluster issuer.
Okay.
Yeah. HTTP class ingress. All right. So it needs to be able to modify ingress. So I want to have a look at what roles it created for itself. So do a kubectl get do service account first. Make sure it has a service account. External DNS, yes. And that service account should tell you do a -o YAML on it. Oh no, we need the cluster. We need the role bindings to know what that is. So do a get role binding and see what you get. Cluster role binding. And then do a grep for cert. Okay, do a get on the cluster issuers one. So cluster role binding. Yeah, I just want you to specify the cluster, that middle one, cluster issuers, Cert-Manager, controller, cluster issuers. Yeah, and do a -o YAML. So it's bound to Cert-Manager. And that's the cluster role. So do a get on that cluster role.
Isn't it the same thing?
No, you're at the cluster role binding. Now we want to see the cluster role.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay.
Because the cluster role binding is what ties the cluster to the cluster, the service account to the, yeah, now YAML. And so it should have access to Ingress.
No.
Okay, so maybe we're looking at the wrong one. Did you look for documentation on DNS on the DNS simple DNS method?
No, we were just cleaning stuff up by the time we got back.
All right. Because the DNS method is usually a cleaner way of doing it anyway. But they didn't have the docs on their website, did it?
So if you go to, it's not part of Acme DNS 01, is it? So they have, I don't know, Acme DNS, Akamai, Azure, Cloudflare, DigitalOcean, RFC 2136. They have a bunch of them there. I don't know if that's something.
That might be it. Do you want to shoot JJ a link for that?
That's in the same website. So if you go to their docs and go to configuration, DNS Acme, last one, then DNS 01 on the left. So they have a bunch of them on the list here. I don't know.
Oh yeah. So it doesn't list simple DNS.
Also does external webhook. So I don't know if
Or
ours.
maybe this is an HTTP one then. We have to do HTTP.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess we do. Like HTTP should be working. Did the Cert-Manager logs have any errors or anything?
No. It just it created the cert, but it never, or created the key, but never actually got to create the cert.
Right, and the logs didn't have any errors or say timeouts or anything.
None that we saw.
All right, why don't we reapply it and see what happens? Did you pull the annotations out of the ingress?
We didn't. We didn't change the ingress.
You didn't change the ingress. Okay, so the ingress is probably still there. Let's apply this cluster issuer.
And then the cert one afterwards?
No, we don't need the certificate.
Okay.
Yeah, the helm is automatically supposed to do it. I'm still confused how we did it. I have to go find out like what doohickey magic that just, I think I never just installed in Helm and I just went directly to the tutorial to use the issuer and the certificate request.
All right. So with that in place, we should be able to now see Certificate Manager trying to create a certificate. So if you go back to that stern for the logs, so it's created Cert-Manager webhooks, Cert-Manager webhook. So maybe just do for the actual Cert-Manager 6.8 until we're only looking at the one pod. Yeah.
Thinking about it.
So that's all the webhooky stuff. We should be seeing it looking for the exit out of that and do a grep for Hugon.
On this
For
graph.
Hugon. Grep for Hugon. Oh my God, that's not grep. Come on. You're killing me, Smalls. Look at Hugon TLS, Ingress. See, so it's reading the annotations on the Ingress, and it's trying to create the. So it creates the key. But it looks like it's not seeing anything about the certificate. Certificate already exists for Ingress resource, ensuring it's up to date. So it's created the certificate. So do an exit out.
Okay.
And do a kubectl get certificates. Because it should actually create a certificate based on the annotations, which it has. So do a... No, the certificate is in where your app is. So that's in the right spot. So do a get certificate -o YAML on Hugon TLS. Two ends.
This is where we were in, where we started cleaning things up.
Service Cert-Manager webhook, not bad.
Could it be that this is being created in the like default namespace and Cert-Manager webhook is running on cluster infra? Because it's trying to make a post directly on the named service, but if you're in a different namespace, you wouldn't be.
Oh my God! Look, it's hard coded to the Cert-Manager namespace.
So they have to be in the same namespace.
No, it's not even that. They've hard coded this lookup to the Cert-Manager namespace.
Right. Oh, it has to be on the. Okay, you have to deploy that in the Cert-Manager namespace. You can deploy anywhere you want.
Well, you can. That's a weird thing because I do deploy it elsewhere. I don't know what it's different here.
They're like, you must create our namespace in your cluster.
Let me have a look at my stuff where I install it. So I use the Helm chart and I don't install it to that, and I don't see that problem. Crazy.
Is that some annotations that changes that, or
I mean, we can just uninstall it and reinstall it where it's wanting for the time being, and that'll probably get it fixed. But it's just weird that it's forcing that. So yeah, do a Helm. I wouldn't even worry about it. That'll still be valid. Just do a Helm delete on Cert-Manager. Do a kubectl create namespace cert-manager.
Okay.
And then do
just with the Helm install.
Helm install and just do a -n and change that to Cert-Manager.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. So you'll need to change your namespace to Cert-Manager. Yeah. Oh, throw out that crap.
Oh, things are happening.
Yeah. It's waiting until it's making sure there's nothing else acting as the leader in case there's more than one Cert-Manager running. So that should just take a moment. Hey, one of you has some people talking very loudly in the background.
Oh, probably me. Hold on, let me go on mute.
Yep, it's him.
All right. So that's looking better. And so if you now do a get certificate on that namespace in default, it says it's ready, false. I would almost delete that certificate and let it recreate it.
Delete. Delete. Maybe.
Yeah, I would bet that the certificate might be messed up. Break out of this and do a get again -o and see if it has any finalizers set. Scrolling up to the top, looking for, I think finalizers are listed in metadata. Oh, so there should be labels, name, place, reference. No, maybe it's just taking a while to delete. Just try again.
There you go.
All right, cool.
It was
So it's going to
that quickly.
automatic. Yeah, it was probably going to create a new one.
Yep.
Age 10 seconds. Cool. It's ready as false, but it wasn't complaining when you did the get certificate -o this time. Whereas last time that was when it gave the error, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now do a get on the ingress and do a -o YAML. So it still hasn't modified the.
Oops, sorry, my bad.
So it still hasn't added the new rule yet. So maybe actually do a look at the logs for Cert-Manager and see what it's saying it's doing.
I'm still not really fully understanding what I'm reading here. Like, I'm not seeing actual errors, right? I'm just seeing informational stuff happening.
Yeah. All right, run that again with a grep for Hugen. There we go.
Operation
There's an
cannot
error.
be fulfilled.
On certificate requests, the object has been modified. On certificate requests. Okay, so here's what we should do is go to your my values, comment out the annotations, and apply it.
My values. Comment out the annotations.
Comment out just that Cert-Manager annotation.
Okay.
Yeah, and then comment out the TLS section. And save that. And do the helm upgrade. So that will get it back to not wanting certificates. And so if we just give it a few moments, do a -o YAML on that ingress.
Yep, it's gone.
Yeah, so that's gone. So now we want to, let me think about this. Do a get certificate now. Okay, do a get certificate request. No S for certificates. Okay, so delete that certificate request. No. And then delete the certificate. Oh, why is it still recreating the certificate request? Do a -o YAML on that certificate request.
Hey, that looks familiar.
Yeah. Oh, issuer not found. Okay. So it's looking for an issuer, not a cluster issuer. So, yeah. So let me think about that. So go back to your ingress. Wait, did you have a service as well by any chance?
No.
No. Okay. I think it might be just stuck on some state, but I think we're heading in the right direction. Maybe we're supposed to do certmanager.io/cluster issuer. Let me have a look at where I might have a working one.
Like that?
Yeah. Yeah, cluster-issuer.
That's inconsistent.
Why is that inconsistent?
Because everything else is cluster issue or one word.
Yeah. Well, that's people for you.
Like that?
Yeah. So I think this will probably sort us out. So save this and apply it. So, you were saying that webhook error because it was in the wrong namespace. I think I don't see that because when you use the DNS method, it doesn't need that webhook. Whereas you need that webhook so it can actually send the ingress rule to somewhere. All right, so you now have a certificate request. And Now let's have a look at that ingress and see if it's added the rule. It still hasn't. Huh. Do a get certificate request and see what it says. See if it's pending or.
Still waiting on assurance from order vet.
Okay. So it's requested one, and so now it's trying to actually do a get pods on the Cert-Manager namespace. Okay.
That couldn't have been 10 minutes.
Do I
Since the
get service? Yeah, it's been 10 minutes since we reinstalled Cert-Manager. So the cluster, that's fine. Have a look at the ingress again, except actually put the ingress name in so it's not adding all the extra list garbage. Hugen. Ah, there it is. Look, it's actually creates a separate ingress. So they see that Acme solver. That's it. So do a get of that -o YAML.
So changing the on the ingress, the annotation kind of like got us on the right path, huh?
Yeah. 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 See how it's looking at Hugen's. Yeah. Okay. I see what's happening. So with Nginx, you can have multiple ingress rules with the same domain. Some of the other ingress controllers you can't. And so it must be smart enough to see that it's Nginx and therefore create a separate ingress rather than editing the same ingress inline. Like if you were using the Google Cloud Ingress controller, it would have edited the ingress rather than creating a new one. But if you actually go to that Hugen demo Ashgar and put in that full path, so like curl against that and see what you get. You don't want HTTPS.
Oh, come on.
Just curl it, dude.
Yep.
Never use a browser when a curl will suffice. Huh. Unable to fetch upstream. That won't make a difference.
There we go. No, wait, no.
Same. Yeah.
Yeah,
So have a look at that service again. Let's see what service it's trying to dump to. So it's dumping. So do a get services. And it's doing a node port.
So do we need a node port at the end of this thing? Like 30, 55?
No, because it's trying to go through
80.
the ingress.
Oh, okay.
So let me see. See, it shouldn't even need a node port. Do a kget endpoints. So do a curl against that endpoint as it's given you with the 80, 89 or whatever it is.
You mean the one I did up there?
No, that whole thing. Just the endpoint. Just the IP colon port. Yeah.
It's a private address, though, isn't it?
Is it? Maybe it is. I thought when you did endpoints, it was supposed to show you the. It's been too long since I've done. So how do you know from the node port what your IP addresses are to hit?
Wait, say that again.
So from your node port service, how do you know what the IP addresses of your worker nodes are to hit?
Oh no, it's node port. It round robins on your. So if you want to find your actual external IP of your cluster, you can do
right.
K describe nodes and grep on the external.
Yeah, that'll do.
Capital E or dash I. No, sorry. On the external, E is capital. No, not them.
Really?
Thanks, JJ. That's totally what I meant. You can try any of those IPs and do the node port in the end. One more 5.
Do a -V. Because it's not giving you an error. It's giving you a 200 OK. There's just nothing in there.
So it hits the node port, but then the node port doesn't direct you to anywhere.
Well, a node port is just, I think a 200 OK is the right response.
Yeah, but
So that's basically a temporary thing that Cert-Manager has put up so that
when Acme looks for it, it can find it.
Let's look for it.
Yeah.
So there's something going wrong between the ingress that it set up and that, right?
Oh, okay. Can you go back to your ingress? Open up your ingress one more time. It could be that because your ingress is serving on /, it's catch-all now.
So wait, do what again?
So open up your ingress, like kget ingresses, both ingress. Let's see what that. You can. So on the Hugin, the path backend you're trying to target is just /. So if it goes to that one first, that anything after that, it won't.
It's smart enough to do it in order.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
That could be a really dumb error.
If you get that, if you curl that full one again, keep going up. It was in history. Oh yeah, that'll do.
This one?
No, you want the Hugin demo blah 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 /.wellknown.
Oh, hang on. The other one was broken, so it's this one.
Yeah, that one. No port. Yeah. All right. Unable to fetch upstream.
But the HTTP code is 501, not implemented.
Yeah, so Google that error.
This one?
Yeah, because that's a Kubernetes error, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so
yep.
For some reason, the ingress isn't able to. Okay, so it's not that. There we go. Nginx not finding service endpoint. Using name as my selector. My service app. Yeah, so scroll down a bit. Oh, do the get the ingress-o YAML on that Acme and make sure it's actually using the right annotation to be using Nginx. Yeah, you have to name the one you want to look at, otherwise you get a giant list.
Well, we got two. No, we want the Acme one.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, the name is.
I need to know the whole thing. Yeah, hang on. Oh, God.
See, with Kubernetes, kubectx, you also get really good tab completion.
Mm.
So stuff like that becomes much easier. Okay, so it's metadata is correct in ingress class. It's service name and service port. So why is it not the labels? Oh, JJ, this was supposed to be simple.
Yeah, I know. I'm getting tired, man. We've been pushing for 2 hours and 30 minutes on this, and my brain's already like, I'm a lot deeper than I normally am here.
Yeah.
This is brutal.
All right. So basically, what should be happening here is Cert-Manager is creating ingress resource for that service. And something is going wrong in the translation between the ingress and the service. And so the backend service name. So copy and paste the service name that it has down in the rules.
Wait, what?
Service name. Yeah, just copy and paste that name and make sure that the service is actually called that.
Yep.
Okay, so the service is called that. So do that. Do the curl. I want to see. Have you still got that error in your Google search? I want to see what that error said again. Unable to fetch.
There's a gist with it.
Yeah. Okay.
Shh. Be quiet.
Service endpoint.
Oh, this is just a problem.
Right. Okay, so I guess he's trying to do a similar thing. So have a look at, I mean, he's seeing the same problem, so you're probably not going to get a solution, but have a look at his service.
I'm sorry?
It's fine. You're just moving too quickly, so we don't have a chance to even read what's going on before you scroll on past it.
Oh, sorry. I thought we'd finished reading this. Oh, reading the service. I didn't hear. I heard servers. That's why I went backward. I'm like, there's no servers here.
All right. So metadata, spec, ports, and then scroll down to his endpoints, IP addresses. Go back to your console. Do an edit on that service. And I want to change it to a cluster IP. Because it doesn't even need to be a node port. And so find node port.
The type on the bottom, third line from the bottom.
Yeah, that's it. So just change that to a cluster IP. Yeah. And then just save that and see what happens. It might complain because you've got a node port listed, but we'll see what it says.
Oh, shit. Didn't like it.
Yeah. Well, hang on. It was telling you the error at the top of the page.
Oh, that was what it was saying?
Yeah. See, services spec forbidden may not use when. Yeah. So pull out that node port line imports. Yeah. When you're editing them in Vim, whatever you call it, if there's an error, it'll dump that in a comment at the top.
I did not know that.
Yep.
So delete this node
Fill
port
up
down here.
Node port line. You already passed it.
This one?
That's it.
There we go.
All right. Just give it a second and run one more time in case it tries to mutate it back. Okay. And then I guess rerun that curl against the ingress. I'm wondering if it being a node port was causing some sort of weirdness.
No, it's just not implemented. That means there is nothing.
Yeah. All right. Do a -o YAML on the service again, and we'll look at the selectors. So now do a -o YAML on the pod. Actually, where's that service pointing at? Yeah, that's what we need to find out. Wait a second. Oh yeah, I was not looking at it. Okay, so do a get on the CM Acme pod. Yeah. And then go up to the metadata. Actually, press up, bring back your last command, pipe that through YQ-R sorry, YQR, there's no dash. YQ space R. You've got YQ installed yet?
No.
Oh.
I think you can just do brew install YQ.
Yeah, if you have brew install YQ. Dude, how do you live without these tools?
I don't.
So YQ is like JQ, but for YAML?
And I have told this to someone once, like YQ is like JQ, and someone asked me, what is JQ? And I said, JQ is like YQ, but for Jason.
So JJ, so R is for read, and then you do a dash for standard in, and then you do space, and then metadata. And then press up one more time, and then dot labels. Right, and now you want to do the same on service and look for the selector. And that way we can easily compare the two without seeing all the junk. No, we've got to get the service and look at the selector part of the service.
Got it. Selector?
I think it might be on the spec selector. Oh,
No, it's the same.
It. Looks the same. So this is bewildering. And in fact, we were getting to the pod when we were curling against the node port. So there's no reason the Ingress shouldn't be able to see that service. I don't know, JJ, do you want to keep banging away at this, or are you...
Nope, I'm done.
All right.
I'm going to call it. This is exhausting, and I don't know what the hell is going on. I just got to the point where I just started typing things.
Yeah.
So
I mean, this is classic DevOps for you, right? You're trying to install one person's broken software onto another person's broken infrastructure, of which you have no real insight into either, apart from some half-baked documentation and some YAML files.
Yep.
Yep. Once you figure out the magic recipe for the particular infrastructure you're on, this stuff becomes really simple. Like for me, when I'm installing this on my GCP clusters, because I know exactly how Cert-Manager likes to see my DNS entries and everything. It's like a dead set breeze. It's like a 3-minute thing to go from a bare cluster to having DNS and Cert-Manager installed. But it probably did take me the first time I did it hours, if not a day, to figure it all out.
Yep.
So what we've just experienced is about what you should expect to experience when you're doing any of this stuff for the first time on a new infrastructure. Especially if you don't already know the stuff. Like two of us have done some of this before, whereas you're kind of flying completely blind. So we were able to jump you through a bunch of things because we'd already seen stuff. If you were trying to do this on your own, man, it sucks.
And the documentation is, leaves so much for the imagination, because you are basically at the mercy of the person documenting to face the same problem you were facing, so that they document the problem that you're going to face. So, to all the maintainers, thank you for your hard work, and to the maintainers that you actually document your code, that you are a godsend, and I love you and appreciate you. So that it can be said enough for the good documentation that is out there.
This feels like one of those moments that this needs to become at least a happy path on the IBM cloud with something to get this to work, like bring this together.
Yeah,
this is going to be just banging your head against a wall trying to figure the damn thing out. Copy command every single command.
Absolutely. So we should figure this out and get this figured out, and you could write a very good looking blog post and or update the IBM docs to give here is the, in a perfect world, here are all the settings you need. And if you wanted to, we could even wrap that into like a Helm file, like just run this one thing and everything will get installed how you expect it, and things will just work.
Yeah, I mean,
If
that,
the happy path works.
and there's no reason why we shouldn't do this. Mainly because there's going to be a bunch of people who want this out there.
Yeah.
I'm just very surprised we have not hit this, or this has not been vocalized much louder than it already is. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and
Cool.
there's no reason this last step shouldn't be working, and it's impossible to tell if it's like a IBM Cloud thing, if it's a Kubernetes thing, if it's something we've done in the last 2 hours that's put like a breakup between the ingress and the service.
Mm-hmm.
But also, JJ, is this cluster in the 1323 account?
No, it's in 18.
Oh, okay. Because this is gonna bother me if we don't figure this out. This is gonna bother me for the rest of the week. So after we are done, I'll basically tonight I'll take another try at kind of retrace my step what we did on our cluster and that worked, and try to compare why this didn't work. So I found out we actually also installed the Helm chart, and I totally forgot, in the Cert-Manager repository. But we didn't do the annotation route. We went manually creating both things, and that had worked. So you are on mute.
I think why that worked was because it didn't have to modify the ingress.
Yeah.
Because it was like, okay, well, I've just created the node port. I'll just ask that, which kind of works. But I like the flow of, I don't even need to create a certificate. I can just add the annotation.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, the change of certificate happens once every 3 months, and the operator does take care of it when it actually comes. So
exactly, yes.
So even if we manually create the certificate, one extra YAML, the fact that I don't have to again manually create stuff, I was okay with that part. Honestly, I didn't even know, because the documentation doesn't really guide you to create the issuer, and the issuer will take care of everything based on the annotation. Documentation actually doesn't say anything about it. We just follow the documentation. It just worked first time. And when we were working on it, it took us like 2 or 3 hours. And we were like, you know what, once we're done, we're going to write an amazing blog post, and no one's going to have a problem. But the moment it worked, we were so euphoric. We were like, you know what, this was easy. Like, it took 4 hours, but it works. And we were like, you know what, it works. Let's move on. We just moved on. And again, I'm guilty of this, not writing documentation. Now, if I were to write the documentation, probably today, I could have been like, oh, just this blog post, bam, done. So JJ, we will write this documentation.
Yes, yes. I want us to be able to eventually say, here is the way to make this happen. And then what we could do is just be like, you want certs on your Kubernetes cluster using Let's Encrypt. Done. This is everything you need. Just don't worry about it. Just follow these 7 commands, change these little variables around. And now you have the Nginx website using HTTPS. That's it. We can talk about other stuff, but then that is all we need.
Here's your homework. Next Thursday, we're going to do this stream again, and we're going to follow the instructions that you've written, and it's just going to work.
Yes.
Yeah.
So between now and then, between the 3 of us, let's get those instructions done.
Yeah.
And I say between the 3 of us, but I really just mean between the 2 of you.
And honestly, it's just going to be Mofi. Mofi's just going to be doing it.
Oh, JJ.
That's
see, I mean, I can't do it because I don't have an account on IBM Cloud.
Yeah.
But yeah. So
I can get you
between
one.
the 2 of you, figure it out, and then we'll circle back and we'll try and go down the same process we just went down. And hopefully it'll just work.
Yep.
Yeah.
And JJ, the other thing, if you want, I can help work with you to add DNS simple support to that Bitnami Helm chart.
Okay.
So that is one thing I can try and help with. Even if we have, like, I don't know if Bitnami will deal with the pull request that quickly, but we can at least have it in a fork and use it from the fork. And that will smooth out the external DNS part of it.
Awesome.
Cool.
Awesome. Cool. Well, thank you, gentlemen. And we've had a handful of people watch. Didn't have too many questions come in, but that's cool. We were pretty far down in the weeds there. If anyone has any questions or thoughts,
We did have like a fun fact. Stern meant star in German, so I learned that today.
There you go.
Yeah,
There you go.
so.
We were not a shooting star in this situation. Though.
No. We're a shooting star that was falling.
There
So
you go.
that was,
we're a meteor crashing to the planet.
yes. We are the one that took out the dinosaurs.
There you go. Awesome. Well, thank you, gentlemen. And we'll talk later. Sounds good?
Yeah. Take care.